Chip Kelly has said he has a second-half team. That has never been more evident than in 3 of the Ducks' victories. In fact, Oregon has outscored its opponents 114-7 after halftime, and against Stanford, the Ducks blanked the Cardinal 28-0.
Game day wouldn't be here if it wasn't a big game, so we know we had to just settle down. Of course, we were a little shaky, but, we came and made some adjustments and we got the job done.
No, we just had to give our all, no matter how much they was giving. They kind of slowed up at the end. They started giving up, but we just kept bringing it on them and putting it on them.
Just knowing that we're going to finish. Just keep working hard. You never know when that play is going to come, so we just keep on working.
Really, we just want to finish, and that's the key thing. When we're down, second half, we just got to finish, and that's the important thing.
And the magic's in the kids. We have a vision and a standard of what things should look like and how we should play, and they continue to buy in, and they continue to work their tails off.
As bad as September has been in years past, October has been very good to the Beavers. They are now 17-6 since 2004 in the month. Still to come on Inside the Pac, we will head back to Corvallis, where the Beavers received contributions from numerous sources in their conference opener.
We've been close, the last 3 games, and I think, to finally, really get it clicking, it feels good. I mean, everyone contributed.
A year ago, with a 2-2 record, the Beavers helped turn their season around with a 28-17 win over Arizona State in Tempe. Brian Elder now checks in from Reser Stadium, where the Beavers hope that another Sun Devil triumph will spark a similar result this season.
Coming into the game at 1-2 and with their backs against the wall, the Beavers responded with their best effort of the season in the Pac-10 opener against Arizona State. The offense finally broke out of its funk as Ryan Katz threw for 260 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Jaquiz Rogers piled up 145 yards on the ground, highlighted by a 74-yard touchdown, which is a career long. And the Beaver defense came through with some key interceptions of ASU quarterback Stephen Threet, including the game winner for James Dockery late in the 4th quarter. That is his 2nd straight game-sealing interception at Reser Stadium.
I just knew they were going to try to put the ball in the air. I told Lance Mitchell, I was like, we're going to have another chance, to make a game-changing play. The ball's going to be in the air. They're going to have to throw at us to win this game. And I just was ready for them, ready to make them pay for it when they did.
And that's the first time I've seen daylight probably all year, so I just tried to finish it off. I had a safety to beat, and I'll race him to the pylon.
There's a lot of better football today, and I really have a lot of respect for what Dennis and that staff's been doing with that team. They looked, it was scary going into it. I'm glad it's over.
So now Oregon State gets ready to head back on the road. And after what the Beavers have already faced at TCU and at Boise State, they feel like they're ready for anything they may encounter against Arizona in Tucson. With the Beavers in Corvallis, I'm Brian Elder for Inside the Pac.
Thanks, Brian. Now at halftime, the Beavers paid homage to the Dream Season team of 2000. About 30 players from the Dennis Erickson-led Fiesta Bowl team returned to Corvallis. The Beavers' first and last BCS Bowl game culminated an 11-1 campaign with a 41-9 pounding of Notre Dame. O State finished the year as the number 4 team in the country. Players like Chad Johnson, TJ Hushmanzada, Nick Barnett, and Dwan Edwards still in the NFL. Well, next up for the current Beavers, back-to-back weeks on the road. First up, a trip to the desert in Tucson. Arizona beat them last year at Reser Stadium.
Yeah, and they've had their own success down there lately. I mean, they lost them last year. You said 37-32, but going back to 99, they've won 4 straight in Tucson. But certainly, this is a different team there for the Wildcats, both offensively and defensively. You saw them win their 10-9 earlier in the season over California.
Yeah, Nick Foles, the Cats, number 2 passing offense in the Pac-10, number 2 total defense in the country. They have now proven that they can maybe win the big games and gut out some games against some quality opponents. And of course, this game that we're seeing right now against Cal and Arizona always have great finishes, and we see the winning touchdown there. Yeah. Jaron Kreiner, the big weapon on offense for Nick Foles at receiver. All right, we're just about to wrap up this edition of Inside the Pac, but when we return, Larry Scott was in the Willamette Valley this weekend. What does the future hold for the new Pac-12 divisional alignment? The commish shares his thoughts up next. Since taking over for Tom Hansen in July of 2009, Larry Scott has made wholesale changes in the Pac-10, which will soon become the Pac-12. Now, the new commissioner was in the Willamette Valley, taking in both games this past weekend. The big topics for the commission: division alignment, revenue sharing, and a conference title game. Decisions won't come until after the university presidents meet October 21st. No matter how they split up the 12 teams, the Northwest schools want to keep that annual trip to L.A.
The Civil War will take place every year. Beyond that, there's no guarantee in terms of frequency. But the other thing, in addition to divisions, the other thing that factors into frequency of play is how many football games we're going to play within the conference every year. And what I can say is there's a real bias to keep the 9-game conference schedule, which under any structure will mean there's a lot of frequency of play between divisions.
All right, guys, a big weekend for the Pac-10 just wrapped up, and now 2 unbeatens left in the conference after Week 5. Mark, Oregon should go to 6-0 with the win over Washington State. That's a given.
Yeah, I hope so, and we'll see what happens with Oregon State and Arizona coming up.
And then, Nick, USC lost a game it probably should have won.
Yeah, a lot of people think, hey, maybe a 2-loss team can win the Pac-10, but I don't know. Stanford or USC is going to soon be a 2-loss team after this next week coming up.
And then UCLA dumped Texas, but had problems with the Cougars, had to have this goal line stand. Mark, how good is Texas really when you look at it?
You know, it's kind of hard to tell right now. Texas had a tough loss with Oklahoma, and, you know, UCLA looked average at best against Washington State.
Yeah, and there's that Thursday night game with the Ducks here at Autzen Stadium coming up later in the season with the Bruins. Thanks to Mark Schmidt for joining us for Inside the Pac, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.